So this isn't a new tool, but this is one hell of a cool tool. Brought to you by the Home Depot Prospector Program. We're taking a look at the Dremel Saw-Max. The model number for this saw, SM20-03. I'll put a link in the description below for you. Let's get the review started. Now, as mentioned, this is not a new tool. This has been out for a little while, but it's definitely something I wanted to show you. Very cool. If you have one of these already, leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. This thing does one thing exceptionally well. I will tell you about that here in a bit. But first, let's go over some of the specs, some of the things that I really liked about it, and some of the things maybe I didn't. First thing I liked, the outside casing, very heavy duty, just like all of Dremel. The other thing I really liked was how fast the release right here comes down. You don't have to pull it, automatically pops out that shoe, and you can cut up to 3/4 of an inch. So I did like that. As far as it goes with the actual lever itself, it feels a little flimsy. Not saying it won't hold up, but just my opinion. The other thing that I did not care for was that Dremel spoiled me. Now you do have a lock button here, but on all of the newer Dremel tools, you have a quick release. This does not. It has the Allen wrench. The problem was it did not even come with the tool. So that was a little bit of a downer for me. I thought at least they would throw the Allen wrench in. They didn't. Now another thing that I did like is that you can lock this button so you don't have to constantly pull that trigger. All you got to do is push down, push that button right there. Boom, it's ready to cut. But again, not a variable speed. Now the one last thing that I did have a little bit of an issue is see how that release button, that lock feature, you got to push forward on it. Well, for some reason my hand wants to automatically pull that backwards. It just makes it for an awkward start. I don't know, that's just me, but yeah, I wish it would have pulled backwards instead of forward. But other than that, that's really about it when it comes to the negatives. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we're going to be cutting. We got some pine here, we got some metal. We're going to cut through a 3/4 inch bar. Right here we got the wood and plastic blade on. It does come with the metal blade as well, so it does come with the 2 blades. Now the one thing I did forget to do was put batteries in my mic, but this sounds like every other single Dremel that you have ever heard in your life. Just think of a rotary tool, that's what it sounds like. Now that thing starts out super quick. Did you know that this had worm drive technology? If you didn't, well now you do. And the electric brake also stops this blade very quick. Now let's take a look at some pine cutting. Now none of these videos are sped up at all. I'm telling you, the one thing that I have noticed, well actually there's 2 things I noticed. One is this thing is extremely fast. Doesn't matter what you're cutting through, wood, plastic, it just screams through this. The other thing I noticed that when you cut, this thing makes extremely straight lines. I'll show you that here on a piece of plywood, but man, that blade is really sharp. That pine was a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch thick, almost a 1/2 inch thick. And I'll show you a couple other things here. Let's go through some 3/4 inch MDF. And what we're going to do is I'm going to raise that shoe up a little bit. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to raise that shoe up a little bit, and I'm going to show you, you can actually cut the thickness that you want simply by adjusting that shoe right here, taking about 1/4 of an inch off. You want to cut out some grooves, you want to go the whole way down through. It is really, really nice and easy to do that with this tool. More than enough power. Now the MDF, even though that's softer material, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, I'll show you on the metal. You can go through just about anything with this. I'm really impressed with how powerful this motor is. Now the cutting wheel diameter on this 3 inches, and the cutting wheel arbor you're looking at 7/16 of an inch. Again, 120 volts and 17,000 RPM. You know what, before we go any further, let me just break it down for Sarah Cop Tool so I don't get yelled at next week. So smooth, but yet so hot. There you go, so smooth. But anyway, speaking of smooth, check this out. This is the one thing I was talking about. The one thing that I was really surprised about how well it actually did is the cutting. The cutting. Check it out. What I really like about this is when you push this thing down, it locks in basically, and you just make a perfectly straight cut. So all you got to do is find your line, and when you find your line, all you got to do is pull that trigger and push. And again, you don't have to worry about holding that trigger down the entire time because you can lock it down. But check it out. You find your line and just go. Perfectly straight cuts. Let me show you underneath of this real quick. That's what's keeping that in line. That shoe lines right up against your cut. It's really nice. I really like this. And another nice thing about it is all the dust goes straight down out of the bottom of this. You don't have to worry about it blowing back at you. So another great feature of this saw. Alright, let's take off the wood plastic blade and add our metal cutting blade. We're going to go through some thin metal here. And then we're going to go through some steel pipe. I'll give you guys a couple different angles of this, but again, really quick. And as promised 2 seconds ago, here's your different angle. Like a knife through butter. I mean, check that out. It's really quick, and again, this is not sped up. So now what we're going to do is some 3/4 inch steel pipe, and all we're going to do is try to cut down through this with the exact same blade. Here we go. Now this should cut down all the way through this, but for some reason it didn't, and I'm not sure if maybe I wasn't all the way down, which it looks like I am, but I did have to turn this over. But again, super quick. And even though this is cordless, it is pretty portable, and if you're using this for just about any job, as long as it's not more than 3/4 of an inch thick, it's going to get the job done. So if you're doing drywall, you know, trying to cut some wood, metal, whatever, you know, those blades are fairly cheap, and yeah, it's just a monster. Very impressive. So there you go. We cut through a bunch of different material, and as you can see, it held out really well. And again, those sparks going down towards the ground. Same with the MDF and the wood. You don't have to worry about it blowing back in your face. It goes right down to the ground. So really nice. And I'll tell you what, I am actually pretty impressed with this tool. You know, I've seen this at the store a few times and never really thought that much about it until I got it in my hands and I realized how versatile it actually is. If you have used this tool, or if you have this tool, I want to know about it. Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. For me, I like the build. I think there's a couple quirks to this that I wish that they would have changed or maybe designed a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, it is definitely getting the job done. It feels good. It's built well, very powerful. It's the worm drive. A couple different blades you can put on this. And yeah, I definitely give this a 2 thumbs up. If you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe. Check us out at toolreviewzone.com. Come say hi to us on the Instagram channel. And oh yeah, I wish they would have added the Allen wrench. We'll be back with more videos soon.